Good morning. Today is May 21st. This is Ruth. And so I'm going to go over what I'm going to do this week. So the first thing I have is a small Joy Sunday sunflower kit. I haven't gotten much started on it yet. I just have this dark blue. I have one color completed. So this is going to be my morning 30-minute stitch. And then here is my silk sunflower kit that I haven't started yet. It's over here in my stand. Ignore the messy craft area. So I have it set up. That's what I stitch on. So I have it all set up and ready to get going here. So that's what that is. This will be, I'll probably spend 30 minutes a day on that until I do my goal for this week. For this piece, I'm calling this Diana Warrior Goddess. You can tell who it is. And here, I'll put a picture in, but I had all of this, the little confetti stuff that I filled in this morning. I just was avoiding working on it. So now I just have two colors. I have 13 and 25, which are dark browns. So my goal this week, what I'm going to focus on during my big nightly stitches, is to get this done. So that's my plans for this week, and I'll talk to you. Good morning. It is Tuesday, very early, but I did finish the full stitches of my small sunflower. Let's talk about the thread. I ran out of two colors. Joy Sunday kits, it seems like they're always stingy with some of the thread, and if you look, I normally jump a lot, but because this is Joy Sunday, I knew I could not do that. So I normally don't show my backs, but with this, I wanted to just to say, yes, I did run out of thread for two colors. But I think it was one of the light yellows. I got to play some thread chicken to get the very last stitch done, but it's okay. It got done. So the only thing left I have is to backstitch around each of the sunflower flowers. And then I'll do that. I'll come back and we will wash it, iron it, and then this kit actually came with a small frame. And so perhaps I'll even frame it with you. We'll see. Okay, see you soon. Good morning. It's Wednesday morning, about 6 a.m. So thankfully my dog this morning let me sleep past 3. But on Sunday, all day, I did this. And basically, if you remember when I first started, I just had one of the colors in the pot done. On Sunday, I got quite a bit done, and then Monday during lunch at work, and yesterday, I went ahead and I just finished it, so I hadn't really worked on anything else. I'm very excited, and I can't remember. I'm kind of disappointed because I ran out of two threads, and the black, they gave me quite a bit for the outlining, but it is what it is. With Joy Sunday, the smaller kits this size, I've almost always run out of one or two colors. I'm very stingy with how I operate with my threads. I generally, make sure, if I can find the camera, I thread chicken it, so, it is what it is. I don't jump. You can look at my back. I don't have any big jumps. I don't jump more than 3 or 4 blocks. I'm just showing my back just to say, no, I didn't jump as normally as I would with the full coverage. So what I did was I did pull out a Joy Sunday kit that's larger, that's full coverage. Also sunflowers I'm going to start on next week. To see if the bigger Joy Sunday full coverage kits have the same problems with the thread colors, because at this point I've been like quite a number of Joy Sundays and I've had this problem with the smaller sized images. So we'll see about that. Okay, I've been rambling about this probably for several minutes at this point. So later tonight after work, I will set up my camera and hopefully get a good shot. We'll wash this and iron it. and take a look. But yes, look at this. I'm so proud. I got this done in basically um, 10, 12 hours of dedicated stitching. I'm very fortunate that I'm able to do that, but I'll see you in, well, just a second for you guys, but at the end of my work day. Okay, bye. Okay, so I have my iron turned on to the highest setting, and all I do is I iron it until it's mostly dry. And I'm not sure if you can see the steam coming up, but it is definitely making it evaporate off the water. So this is one of my favorite parts, although if it's a big one, it's not. I don't know what that is. Okay, I guess it's ready. But I went ahead and I started anyway, so. So yeah, I just iron it and iron it and iron it and iron it. And I won't bore you with watching me do it. So let's just take a look at the finished product. I like it. What will I do with this? It came with the frame, so I may put it in the frame or may just stick it in my finished project bin. I do these projects for fun, not necessarily to always hang up and finish off. So what might be cute is to finish it off by putting it on mat board or whatnot, but like I said, it'll probably just go in my finished project bin. Okay, thanks. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do my new start on the silk kit. So we're going to do full stitches on this, and I stitch double-handed in the stand. If I can find my hole. So let's see. Today was okay. I had a pretty easy day at work. Not much really going on, so it's always nice when work is quiet like that, right? So what I'm doing is 310, which is number 4. I know it's kind of boring to look at, but I like to start in the lower left corner of my kits when I'm in a hoop. So and I do 10 by 10 blocks just because I like to see it. And what I'll do is I'll go up row by row. So I normally do, I pull a floss with 6 strands, and normally in the morning when I work on this, I just stitch one whole thing of floss at 6 strands, and then I start my morning, do my morning routine of getting ready for work. So I do have this thread racks because it is silk, and I think I just double did that one. Oh well. And I'm not concerned that it's losing its shine, because if you use really hot water, then it should be fine to wash the wax out. This is the wax that is supposed to melt in hot water anyway. So for dinner tonight, I made mashed potatoes and meatloaf and gravy, and it was really good. And now I'm just having a relaxing time cross-stitching with my friends. And I hope this kit's going to turn out well. I realize I'm going to have, I just finished a sunflower. I'm doing a silk kit with a sunflower. And I plan on starting a Joy Sunday full coverage that is also a sunflower. So I probably won't record all of those. The Joy Sunday I may just do and show progress pictures of that rather than boring you all with stitch-alongs of multiple sunflowers. I'm excited for this. I've never done a silk kit before, or a silky kit, because these are synthetic. I think it's like a polyester blend. It's shiny regardless. I probably won't be able to iron it on high heat, so because then it'll melt, but I can just let it air dry naturally and that should be fine. So what are you working on? I guess I could tell you a little bit myself. So my name is Ruth, obviously. And I started cross stitching, let's see, the first time I can remember was when I was 8. And my mom cross stitched, or she dabbled in it. And I think she liked looking at cross stitch more than actually doing the cross stitch because she had quite a kit stash, or, you know, like most of us, we like to collect projects and do projects. So they're two hobbies in of itself. Hence why I do the stash slide videos, because yeah, that's that. And so then I, probably when I was 8, I didn't have the best attention span. So I remember doing a couple of little projects. And then fast forward, my best friend in middle school and high school was getting married, and I was 19. And so I decided, you know, I hadn't cross-stitched in forever, so I made her a giant wedding sampler. It was Precious Moments because she loved Precious Moments. So I did a Precious Moments wedding picture for her, and it was huge. It ended up, I think, being 18 by 24. It ended up being in that frame, but my mom, as her present to my best friend, got it professionally framed, and so there was a huge mat around it, and it had a beautiful golden frame, and it was just lovely, to be quite honest. And then it was funny because I lived in Florida, in the Panhandle, and she lived in Texas, so I had to transport this thing in my luggage on a plane flying from a little small town in northwest Florida over to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And fortunately, it did not get broken, so I'm very happy about that. But she seemed to like it. And so that was my first big project after my 8-year-old experience. And then after that, I got into other stuff, other hobbies, scrapbooking into my 20s and 30s, and then the coloring books, playing with multimedia journals. And then in 2019, because it was when 2018 is when I had my weight loss surgery. So obviously after you have weight loss surgery, you can only drink for I was on liquids for 3 weeks. And so I had to keep my hands busy. And so I picked up cross stitching. I was also knitting and crocheting at the time. I also do that. So thankfully, my thread came out of my needle. So that's how I got back into cross stitching, and I've been cross stitching. I didn't really do it all that much. I picked up a kit, and I think that it probably didn't even finish it. It probably ended up in a box somewhere in my house. And so But then in 2019, I picked it back up again. And then, yeah, and then of course with the pandemic in 2020, I started diamond painting quite a bit. And then let's see, did I go into the exact same spot? Nope. Excellent toe. So I'm doing a pin stop, or I can't remember the technical term for this, but it's basically you go in and out and it's supposed to disappear, but you know, it doesn't for me. So, well, there you go. You can kind of see it. You can kind of not see it anymore, but I can see, even if it's a different symbol, I do go into it. Generally speaking, it's right near where I'm cross stitching, so I'll do that symbol next. With silk, it's probably more important than not to do that. So you guys got to see me do my first floss into my new silk canvas, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I will promise you I'll pick up with my story next time, okay? Talk to you in a minute. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and keep going. So I put my other two floss on my needles, and I'm just going to go ahead and finish this up with you. So for this, what I do is I try my best in a, let's see, let's go this way, just because I'm so close to the end of the frame. So I go, if I don't go through the top. So I put it under, and then I just go through. I'm not sure if you can see this, like so. And most of the time it secures it in pretty good. Ugh, of course. It made a liar out of me. So I go like that. And then I just go in. And I won't pull as hard. Well, crud. Let's see what I can do here then. See, I'll just show you my struggles. They're all real here, right? I can't stitch in hand. It horribly makes my hands hurt. I get tendonitis, so that's why I didn't walk you through what I did with my little kit, because nope. So it's fine. We'll do it this way. Let's see if I can get it going. I'm not perfect. I'm not a professional. I just do this for fun. So, okay, that looks like that'll work out pretty well. And so we'll just start stitching again. So let's see, where did I start? Oh yeah, so I started diamond painting in 2020, probably much like everybody else, because of the pandemic. And if you go back, you can see some of my videos I did. I got into diamond painting, and then I think late one night I was watching the YouTube, and one of the autoplay ones was of something called floss tube. And so I started watching it, and then I started doing counted, and one of the first things I did was a modern folk embroidery counted project. And maybe one day I will, you can probably go back and see it, but I might do all my finishes parade up until 2023 and go through what I did. And then I don't remember how I found about stamp kits, but one of the problems with counted is obviously you have to focus and whatnot. And what I like about this is you get your thread, you associate it to a symbol or a color on the fabric, and you just go. I was doing full coverage and dimensions kits. And so then I happened upon, through a Google suggestion, I can't remember who it was. It may have been Stitching with Laura. And so I went through and I watched hers, and she's a pretty good channel. I like just having it on as background noise. It keeps you company. I kind of like these videos because, you know, you can do whatever you want, have it on the background, and it's like you're sitting with a friend, even though they're not really your friend, but they share enough of their lives with you. And so shortly after that, I decided to try to get a little setup going, and I started off with diamond painting, and then I didn't try to do any cross stitching stitch with me's, but so once I found the stamp kits, I mean, I have quite a stash of counted that I will probably start. There's a couple of projects that I really like. My mom passed away in 2020, and she was a big fan of Mirabilia and Bella Filipina. And so I might start one of those in memoriam of her. But I've been doing counted. Normally, this is a small project for me. I've done lots of little kits because I wanted to see if I wanted to get into it. So I got some on Amazon, and then I discovered AliExpress, and then all the stamps online stores that drop ship from over in Chinese manufacturing firms. And so I started doing that, and then I discovered customs when my one of my dogs passed away. Her name was Dallas, and she's a beagle. And I think, let's see, this is 2023. It was in 2021. And like, you know how I have another dog. She's my dog. Her name's Molly. But Dallas was my dog. Like, we were definitely lifetime companions, and I had her for almost 12 years. And I was really sad. And so I had just finished up a stamp kit of a cabin in the north with the Aurora Borealis in it. And it's really pretty, and I'll show that to you in another video at some point. And so I was looking for another project to work on. And then I discovered on AliExpress you could do custom cross stitches. And so obviously with my grief, I ordered one in September, and it got there in early October. And it was a great project. It was probably it's probably a 30 by 30 because I have it in a frame that I think has a 12-inch opening in the mat. And so I did that, and it took me about 2.5, 3 months because basically I would stitch on it, and it would definitely help with my grieving process because I was in pretty bad shape because, I mean, I've definitely experienced loss in my life, but nothing to that extent. So, well, losing an animal is different than losing a person. I've lost plenty of people in my life, and it was devastating as well. But doing the cross stitch of my dog Dallas was definitely it was a good way to handle my grief. It was much healthier than things I've done in the past. And so then after that, I had a Heaven and Earth Design full coverage pattern that I wanted to do, but it's just so problematic. And so I ended up, because I bought the pattern, I just, you know, you can judge me for you want, but I went ahead and got a custom of that, and it's beautiful, and I'll show you that. I finished that up last year, and then probably in the November, December time frame. And then I started on, what else did I work on? After that, I had a stamp kit that was a Rivendell from Lord of the Rings. And it was so small, and it just was so pixelated. It was horrible. So by the time I got a third of the way through, because obviously when you start on the end, you don't really see the details. And by the time I got through the first part of one of the outer buildings, I was like, no, I'm not going to continue on with this. So I don't consider it a waste of time because, you know, obviously I got some entertainment out of it. But it was just disappointing because you do spend all that time, and I knew pretty early on that I should have just made it an unfinished object, kept the thread, and said goodbye to the fabric. But I got a third of the way through. And so then after that, let's see, Oh, yes, The Mandalorian was going to start. And so I ordered a Mandalorian portrait custom from the Mayan store on AliExpress. And so I started that the weekend of the start of season 3 at the end of February. And then that took me about 6 weeks to do. That was a 30 by 30 as well. And I'm happy to report that I did finish it before the season was over. However, I had one frame done and I basically had a marathon weekend where I just worked on it every weekend moment on a long weekend. It was a 3-day weekend, so I decided I'm going to finish this off, and I stitched like a mad person. And then let's see. And then I had also ordered my Wonder Woman counted cross stitch custom at the same time. And so after I finished Mandalorian, I started that. And I used to be, I guess, what they call a monogamous stitcher. But I've gotten away from that. One of the people I watch here on YouTube, Stitcherella, she does this thing where, you have all these beautiful kits and you don't do anything with them. So, crud, I went through the same spot. And so she does this thing where every day of the week she has a different type of project, like on Saturdays it's Silky Saturday, and then she has Alice Tuesday. Let me put this so you can see it. And then she just has the different themes, Stitch What You Want Wednesday, and so on. And so I was like, and 9 count Friday, and I do have a 9 count started. I didn't try one of those until I discovered her channel. And I'm like, hey, that looks pretty cool. Oh, and she also has, those scissors are horrible. They need to be tossed. And so I ordered one off of Paint Some Way. I ordered a whole lot. Let's just say I won't run out of things to show you guys over the next year. It's embarrassing but true. One of my hobbies is collecting kits and patterns and diamond paintings, so I'm not ashamed of that. And so I have a 9 count, and I got this silk kit, and I, discovered, you work on something a little bit every day, and there you have it. You'll get done eventually. And knowing how I am, I'll get close to the corner and to finish, and then I'll just, do a marathon to finish it off. So I definitely am a finisher. But I do have more whips than I would like to admit. But I think that this is good because I have my main focus piece is my Wonder Woman. And then I'm doing my 9 count, and then I just finished up my little sunflower. That's one of those ones where I work 30 minutes a day, and then I realized, I could get done. And so I just concentrated on that for Sunday, Monday, and part of Tuesday. And yeah, I'm happy with it. Oh, crud, look what I did. Okay, well, we'll go back to our normal. So, yeah, so I'm kind of embracing having not like, man, who is it? There's the lady who does the 24 hours of cross stitching. She basically, for one of her birthday years, she started how many projects her birth year was, and it was like insane. That would stress me out way too much. I don't think I could have that number of started projects. Yes, it's true, I have a bucket of unstarted projects, but it's just not who I am. I would get way too anxious and stressed out for that. But I also understand other people would be absolutely maddened by having one kid at a time like I used to do. But, each their own. I don't judge them. They don't judge me, or maybe they do, but I don't know because they're not around me. Um, so, but yeah, starting like 33 in a year, that's just having that much in a set of bags in a bin next to my normal cross stitching area would be a little bit too much for me, I'll be honest with you. Um, and I do this channel for fun. I don't, everything I bought, it was with my own money. So I know that some individuals, they are fortunate enough to have PR packages sent to them, and that's great. Will I ever get there? Who knows, but that's not the intention of me starting this channel. It's just to share my love of my hobbies with everyone. Right now, I'm fully focused on cross-stitching my diamond painting kits. I just fell out of diamond painting, and I haven't done any for a while. I mean, I have started one that's been sitting here for a couple of months, and I just don't have a desire to do that. So, but one of my friends and I, we were talking because she goes through peaks and valleys with her hobbies as well. And her significant other, he always, is like, well, how long is this one going to last? And I'm like, well, much like collecting kits, maybe having hobbies of hobby is a hobby in of itself. So anyway, I go through spurts, it's like something I had an interest in 3 years ago. I mean, I have an interest in now, but who knows, maybe next year I'll have an interest in it again. So, although I have to say, I moved last year and I made the mistake of putting all my diamond painting kits in a giant large box, including all my finished ones. And whoo-hee, that box was so heavy. I do not recommend it at all. It was a wardrobe box, and please do not do that to yourself. It's next to impossible to lift. Fortunately, I'd hired movers to move the big stuff, and that was in the here, you move this pile. And I felt so bad, and it's like I marked on the back of the box, on all corners of the box, or sides. Warning, extremely heavy, because I didn't want anyone to break their backs. And it was funny because the mover was like, how heavy can it be? And he was trying to lift it up, and he's like, let me go get the dolly. So I'm like, yeah, you're going to need the dolly. And then when he came into the townhouse to deliver it, he's like, please don't tell me this is going upstairs. I'm like, nope. All my craft stuff goes into, well, I guess it's a dining area, but I converted it to my little crafty nook. So I have a storage area where I put all my hobby stuff. I keep poking my fingers, so let me do that just so that I don't wince. So yeah, I have my stuff somewhat organized. As I'm doing my stash dies, I'm definitely taking the opportunity to sort them out because I have a mishmash of 11 counts and 14 counts. 14 counts is what I mostly have because I like the 14 counts. But I'm branching out, and I have in addition to the 1 9 count that I started, I think I have one more 9 count. And then I have maybe 2 or 3 18 counts. I just kicked my stand. Okay, I'm still in the picture. And and then I got 18 counts, and I'm not sure if it's an old kit or a new kit because apparently when they first did the 18 counts, there was some issues with it. So here's to hoping it is a-okay. When I do count across stitch, I normally stitch on 20 count, but with the symbols, I'm just really interested in seeing how bad it is. I do read readers, use readers in my day-to-day life, so I suspect I'll have to do a magnifying thing. I'll admit, even when I did 20 count, I would use magnifiers to do that. I used to have one of those mag eyes, but then I discovered I wear regular glasses that you can get clip-on readers for it. And so I ordered myself a 2.5 time clip-on, And so even when I do my 14 count, the Wonder Woman printing one is kind of fuzzy and it's difficult to see. And so I even use my magnification clip-ons for that. And it's definitely, I definitely stitch a lot more on stuff that I need magnification for, simply because the clip-ons are very convenient. So yeah. And I mean, I've gone through some refinement of how my stitching set up. So I like to be low-key and just not be, you know, one of the things I like about cross stitching is you can put it in a bag. I think I may have enough, you know, let's just finish this one up and that's that. So I like it because everything can fit in a project bag, your scissors and everything, mag-eye, or the reading glasses in there. Bag. Okay, great. I thought 4 was blue and I just did the dark blue, but nope, I'm good. Let's try to do one more. Oh, nope, that was wrong. So what I like about this stand, and I realize I'm all over the place, is you can rotate it. And so this is another thing. It's like you do the convenience of it, and then what I do is I loop it through one, because I know these stitches, this silkish thread can be problematic. And then I tail it under 2. Okay, so let me get my good scissors and set this off to the side. So here's my, well, no, I won't show you that. I'll save it for another time. So here's what we did so far, and I hope you had a pleasant time stitching with me. And I think I'm going to wrap up. So let's see. Let's go over what I worked on. So I did this, and then the other thing I finished up is my little sunflower. Here, let's see if I can, let me let's see, can I, there we go. So here's my sunflower that we washed and ironed together. I'm liking it. It's cute. Still don't know if I'm gonna finish it off or not, but it's an accomplishment. I'm happy with it. It probably took me about 20 hours to do from start to finish. But then of course I was watching TV and I play farming simulator, so I would pick it up while my simulation was running and then I would put it down while I had to do farm maintenance. So, okay, well that's it for this week. I think I'm going to start posting these on Thursdays because I know a lot of people do Saturdays and Tuesdays and Mondays. So just to give, one of the things I dislike is that you get all your stuff flooded in your inbox and then you watch them over the weekend and then you have no more friends to stitch with. So yeah, I think I'll do this on Thursdays, and I guess I'll see you next week with my weekend stitching. Bye! Thanks for joining me this week.